a very small but highly and mighty engaged audience can actually turn more conversions in some cases than the larger audiences. So especially when you're thinking in terms of guest booking and you're possibly evaluating, like, maybe if you're using a service for guest booking to get you on podcast, or a match service like Alex's, which is so great, it's like you don't want to discount that every audience, if it's your target audience, if you're getting in front of them, that's a possibility for a new lead, for a potential collaboration, for a potential book sale. And looking at the idea of, okay, so if I am going to be able to consistently show up in front of my audience, the people that want to hear what I have to say, that are going to be engaging in my content, like Alex was saying, that's the most important thing, not whether or not that they have the largest audience or they're the top ranked, up 5% of Apple Podcasts. Because even today, I heard a success story about somebody who closed a $30,000 high ticket program from a podcast audience that had 10 downloads. And that's an extreme example, but it's a real example. And I think if you really kind of picture yourself every time you show up to that mic, especially if you're guesting on podcasts, and you're thinking, how many times have I gotten to show up in person at a live speaking event in front of 10 people, 100 people, 1,000 people, 15,000 people? And you're doing that repeatedly and consistently, either as a host of your own podcast or guesting on another show. That's where you start to build that contagion factor. You start to build that enthusiasm. You start to build those relationships, and you ultimately convert that into an ROI depending on what your end game is.
Level up your podcast with advice from the pros at Produce Your Podcast. Subscribe and hit the bell icon to stay updated. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with your network. For more expert tips and services, visit produceyourpodcast.com.